All right, so without further ado, we're going to introduce Milind Bhargava, and he's going to talk about the Canadian financial darknet here. So let's give him a hand.
Hi, my name is Milind Bhargava, and I'll be talking about lighting up the Canadian darknet financially. So this is a true story at TELUS. A little about me. I'm working as a security consultant with TELUS Security Solutions based out of Calgary. I'm also a part-time professor with George Brown College in Toronto, where I teach network auditing, forensics, cryptography, and so on to the students of Network and System Security Analysis program. It's a mouthful. I've been involved on and off with the darknet research over the past 5 years. I'm not really the only expert on this topic. I'm sure there are plenty of people, including some speakers who have spoken earlier. For me, all of this started back in 2009 when I first came to know about Bitcoins. So I was working as a part-time web designer, trying to make websites apart from studying in college just to make some extra money. A client of mine who later became a good friend tried to pay me with Bitcoins. I was actually hoping to get actual currency that I can use in the market. Back then, about $1, you could get something like 40 Bitcoins. So I got offered 800 Bitcoins for $20 worth of work. I know $20 is a little cheap for a website, but I was in India, and at that time with the exchange rate, it was about 1,000 rupees. And that's the best you could get for an HTML site at that time. So I started looking more into the problem I got, now Bitcoins. Okay, what do I do next? Tried Googling, found out about Tor, found out about Darknet, started going in and out, checked out the how-tos. Seemed pretty easy. It was fun initially. So what is Darknet? I'm not talking about the TV show or what exactly like a show like Mr. Robot. Yes, the things that are shown in there are completely true. For me, Darknet is more of a, you can say, untapped source of threat intel and amusement. Amusement because I feel people never learn. One example is how to fail like a Darknet drug lord. Sarah spoke about that one very well. So the news that you see mostly on the Darknet is all about Russians, the drugs, and so on. While those are the most sought after topics that people are trying to find, I'm going to talk about the financial side, especially what's in Canada, because not many people talk about what is there for Canada. Darknet threat intel is like teenage sex. Everyone talks about it. Everyone thinks that the other person is doing it, even though they don't really know how to do it, so just claim that they are doing it. So how to connect to Darknet? Simple terms, Google it. If you're still too lazy, go to YouTube. Plenty of videos by all kinds of people on how to access Darknet. This is an image taken from BBC's website talking about how to connect to Darknet, a very rudimentary method. You download something like a Tor browser on your PC, which is based off Mozilla Firefox. You connect to it like you connect over a proxy chain, and it finally takes you to where you can access all the onion addresses. So based on Sarah's talk and other people in the past, how many of you have checked out Darknet or Tor in the past? Okay, most of you. Anyone still curious about it right now? Okay, a few. So congratulations, you're all terrorists. NSA tags everyone who's Tor curious as a terrorist. Or even if you use the Tails OS that was used by Edward Snowden, you're still a terrorist. NSA, just like the DHS, has a very long list of keywords that it finds terrorizing. If you search for things like snow, you're a terrorist. In Canada, everybody's a terrorist. So you've heard the terms deep web, dark web, surface web. What is the difference? Surface web is anything you can access via, say, Google, Bing, and Yahoo kind of search engines that they can index. So it can be any site, even like Wikipedia. Deep web is the part where you need credentials to log in, like social media sites, like Facebook, when you actually set security settings, the one that are actually secure. like removing things from public. And other sites that you need to log into, say government sites or your banking sites and so on. Dark web is a part that you need a special browser to access. It's not available on the normal .com, .in, .ca, and so on. They're all .onion addresses, and you need the special browser, Tor browser for a PC, or if you're using an Android phone, Torbot, and then the browser that comes with it. So an infographic from Deep Web Tech talking about the same thing. The sites at the top that you can see, Service Web, Bing, Google, Wikipedia, Deep Web, multilingual databases, financial records, government records, and so on. And finally, the dark web, where you find all the Tor encrypted information, illegal access data, journalists, or other people trying to hide. So a few days after I got paid with the Bitcoins, my dad told me that his bank called him and asked him something very funny, that he had authorized a $2,000 transaction over an e-commerce site, which he never does over 20. So he obviously told him, no, he did not, and the bank put a hold on it. Later, the bank told him that they came to know that his credit card details were stolen off an e-commerce site and sold on the Darknet. After I came to know that, I got curious. Okay, so I've already learned a few things about Darknet. Why don't I try and find out where my dad's card was? I did not find his card anywhere, but I did find a lot of places where they sell credit cards. Like there was a site with more than 1 million credit cards on it. Sure, most of them would be burnt or fake. I mean, how can people have 1 million credit cards and sell them? You know, why not use them on their own and make money? So, what kind of things can you find on the Darknet? Interac Logins for electronic file transfer. These are listings about 3 banks in Canada where they're giving you the username and password for you to log in, and the 3 secret questions and their answer for all the help that you will need. And you know, when you send money via Interac, you get an email afterwards saying that the money has been received by the person you sent it to. What if you want to cover those tracks? You also get the email username and password so that you can log in and cover your tracks or just change the password and do whatever else you want with them. One way to protect with this would be to use software tokens or one-time passwords sent over email. One bank recently started doing that in Canada after they came to know that they were breached in 2012, and they found out, I think, very recently about that, or end of 2015. That's why I'm using. People never learn. Now, I did not log into the bank account to actually test if that was a valid credential. This is part of a list of samples that a vendor was showing off that he actually knows his stuff. In one case, I was able to talk to a vendor and tell him that, no, I don't trust you, you're lying, this is never true, and so on, this is all Photoshop. So he sent me a TeamViewer connection ID. I was able to see his screen, and then he logged into the account to show me. I took a lot of screenshots. So back in 2012, I came across a lot of sites that were selling banking data, like things like this, username, password, and so on. And in the list of samples, I found they had last 4 digits of a phone number, first name of the person selling it, the person of the account holder, and the balances in them. So I got curious, am I part of it or is my dad again part of it? I went through the list from whatever I could find, and no, we were not on it. But I found a familiar-looking name. It was of a friend, and the friend's phone numbers matched, so I thought maybe give him a call and find out. I give him a call. I tell him what I found. Lots of swear words. A while later, a lot more swear words with a lot of yelling. Once he calmed down, he hung up, came over to my house with a bat. And that was a cricket bat. I don't know how many of you know cricket. It's like baseball, but bigger, stronger, and heavier bat. He thought I hacked into his account because most of my friends know I dabble in these things quite a lot. So I explained to him what I have. I showed him my screen, showed him how things are and so on. And he relaxed and he decided to leave the bat separately. So we went through all of his data and decided, okay, let's just update the listing that he has in the bank and see how things are going. Is there claims of this is live data? And the fact that they are showing it with regular updates, true or not? So he updates his phone number to a fake number. Immediately we check it. nothing. Check it a few days later, no. The weekend after, nothing. I just assume, fine, they're just making it up. It might be old data they got from somewhere else. 1 week exactly to the date, he updated his phone number. The new number was there in the new list of samples. And that was a Canadian bank. And yes, he hates me a lot. And we're not friends anymore either. So there are more examples of what else you can find. Like this listing talks about a username, password, the mailing address, the last date you signed on to it, checking information, saving information. And just like you visit any site where there's lots of helpful information like frequently asked questions, FAQs, what can you do with the money? How can you take it out of that account and spend it anywhere else? Do you want more help? You can just visit the links that are listed here at the bottom. All the help that you want. Now, you're wondering, how do people get access to these? Like all the login information. Same way as they used to do always, phishing pages. You're aware of phishing pages of Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, and so on, PayPal, it's notorious. Now the bad guys have become very effective at making typo-free phishing pages for banks and so on. These phishing pages not only capture the standard username password, but they also have secret questions where you have to type the questions in. That way you will not assume that this is, say, a fake banking site. You'll probably go along with it. Except for the URL, that where people will generally skip over viewing. There's no other way you can tell that this is a fake site. So there are vendors that are actually providing phishing pages with hosting. So gone are the days when it will be just one person doing all the bad stuff. Now we have a full-scale industry. One guy will make the phishing pages and sell it on the dark web. Another person might try to buy it from this one and sell it for a cheaper price just to make more money. Somebody will sell it with hosting, that they will host it on their own gateway. All you have to do is send a spear phishing email, get the victims yourself, and you can either share the money of the loot, or you can just get the logs from that person. Another example of the same kind of phishing pages. These are available everywhere for every kind of bank, every kind of even website. Say a company site gets hacked. There are lots of people who even request if somebody can make a phishing page for them. Now, what kind of a talk will be complete without PayPal? PayPal accounts linked to Canadian banks or Canadian credit cards. All available for a very low price of $2. So if you want to buy something by PayPal and you don't have the money, if you have $2, you can now buy it for cheap. They're willing to replace your account if it's a wrong password or there's something wrong with the account right before you ordered. But in case you run out of money, bad luck, you have to buy another one. You can use this to do a lot of things. Like most of you know what is a drop location or a dropping service? Okay. So a drop is somewhere where you buy something, say, from a bad place, and you don't want to have it shipped to your home address. So you get caught. You instead send it to a drop location where the person, for a fee, will take that package out of the original packaging, repackage it, and send it to a new address. So it can be either a new drop location or to your address. That way, if somebody's tracking the shipment, it will not necessarily come back to you. Just like earlier, somebody, I think it was Sarah again, who suggested don't go to customs to pick up your cocaine box. Here's a vendor who claims that they hacked the government. Now, it may be, it may not be. There's no way to actually check this without buying the product, and that's illegal. But based on the data that you can see, it has a social insurance number, first name, last name, address with zip code, the birthday and valid email, and driver's license. Can be a government database, can be taken from any other source and just showing a few columns to make it look like a government database. Another vendor claiming to hack a records database. So this is a listing in one of the markets that was saying the website was hacked using SQL injection. The records talk about plain text admin password as well as some personal data that was on it. Recently, there have been a lot of bank breaches in the Middle East and so on. I'll talk about one of those very soon in the next few slides. I was personally impacted. And that one was also hacked using SQL map. You will assume a bank will be protected from SQL injection. And finally, credit cards. Now, what kind of financial talk will skip credit cards? Well, this is more towards a debit card, Maestro from an Indian-based bank in Canada. Now, as the vendor says, Indians love to save. There'll be a lot of money in that account. As an Indian, I can vouch for that. If you saw my dad's bank account, you can definitely agree to that. I'm the one who's broke. Credit cards. So this is one of the major marketplaces that you find credit cards on sale. The first column, the BIN number, talks about the first 6 digits of your credit card or debit card. If you take out your credit card right now without showing it to me, look at the first 6 digits and just Google BIN followed by the first 6 digits. It will tell you all about what your credit card is from, like which bank it is from, what kind of a card it is. Is it a corporate card, a fleet card, debit card, and so on. The second column talking about MasterCard, Visa, American Express, debit. Third column, debit or credit or ATM card. Fourth one, gold, ATM cards, classic, standard, platinum, all the kinds that you have. Expires talks about the expiry date and the country, which country or state the card is from, and bank, finally in the end. If you're very choosy about the kind of bank you want to defraud or you have favorites, or you don't really like a bank for some reason. So the big question, how do fraudsters actually cash out? Like, okay, fine, you've got stolen credit cards. How do you make money out of it? One way is you can sell it on the darknet to somebody else who will do all the fraud part and you just make money from the sale of it. An average credit card costs something between $3 to $45. $3 if it's expiring very soon, let's say within the same month, or it's very old and most likely burnt, that is caught by the bank. And if it's high credit limit or from somewhere that has a long expiry date, plenty of users, fresh data, it's going to cost a little more. Now, I don't support carting, and the following explanation should only be taken as an educational message. So the most common that I've seen is a fraudster sets up an account, say, on sites like eBay, trying to sell a product that is very much in demand, but with a very low value. Say an iPhone 6s. How much will it cost in the open market? Quite a lot of money. Say you see it available for sale for $200. Will you buy it? At least you'll be tempted to, because you'll be, well, it's cheap. There are a lot of people who will actually go and buy it. So the scheme works like this. The fraudster has set up an eBay listing with the product that he doesn't yet own. A normal customer, say any one of us, goes and buys it from him because it's cheaper, right? So they got a really good deal. After the purchasing is done, the money is then transferred to the fraudster's PayPal account or bank account, however it is set up. The bad guy then goes back to eBay and searches for any other vendor who's selling the exact same product. Then, using a stolen credit card, he buys that item. So again, no money spent from his side. After the item is bought, you can send it to any shipping address. So you send it back to the good customer. In the end, the guy who actually paid for the original product from the fraudster gets his product, no complaints there. The original fraudster is obviously not going to complain about anything. And the only person who's left in the end to complain about a fraud is the original credit card holder whose credit card got stolen. And most people don't really check their credit cards for any small things getting debited, like, say, $40, $50. People will not really think about. $500, people will be concerned. More than that, yes, definitely. Another place where this keeps happening is gift cards. Now, we have seen sites like Groupon. You can just go and buy something for ridiculously cheap with 90% off, 95% off. So you get used to those kind of things, and you assume it happens all the time. So you go to, say, eBay. You see an Amazon gift card or Starbucks gift card worth $1,000 for $10 or $100. You'll think it's like a Groupon-like deal. You can buy in bulk. You're getting away with it. Most likely, that's a stolen card. Like last year, we heard about Starbucks getting hacked. And then we saw a lot of news about people using his points, illegally loading up lots of points in their cards. Same way. You can sell those cards after you have loaded points. So in the end, you're not the person who's getting caught. It's the poor, helpless, greedy man who went to get all those Starbucks points to get free coffee. So how else can you go about it? There are vendors who claim to do the carding for you. So this is a listing about someone claiming to be a loyal and professional PayPal cash-out service, saying that they can withdraw up to $7,000 in under 2 hours. Now, they have worked with people in the past, and their people that they've been working with have become inconsistent due to other projects, or maybe they got arrested. Can happen. They're looking for someone who can help with them time to time and understand how the market works and basically make the frauding more efficient. There's always people like these guys. So if you go to Facebook, there are actually groups of carders. So just go to Facebook and search for carders. You'll come across groups of people, or actual groups, where people are asking, how is carding done? They're sharing their carding skills or things they have done in the past to boast so they can get more customers who they can do carding on behalf of. They're literally telling law enforcement, come and arrest me. It's like a shopping list for the cops. This fine man here used his actual profile. I clicked on it and I checked, yes, that's his actual profile. And he asked, can anyone do carding for me? If yes, then message me for details. I'm sure any cop would like to contact him for details. And then it can get worse. There are people who can offer to help on Facebook. So here's a listing on Facebook by a friend saying, a guy rather, teaching carding from basics to end, and he accepts escrow for payment. So if you don't know how to do carding, you can learn from this guy. Another wonderful way to go to the cops. So why aren't companies buying back all the stuff, all the data that's available for sale on the Darknet? By buying, you're just going to encourage the behavior. The more, say, a bank sees all of their credit cards, say 20,000 credit cards on sale on the Darknet, they buy it all up. The vendors will see there's a big demand for this. They'll try to hack it more. So it's not really helping. Legal ramifications. Buying any kind of stolen property by anyone, whether corporation or individual, is illegal. And then there's a ransomware issue. One place where you have to pay money to get your stuff back. And in some cases of badly designed ransomware, that never happens. You pay money and still bye-bye. Some people deserve it who have never set up backups. That's my personal opinion. Another one called fulls. So this is full PII identity information that you can find. They claim to be having 100,000 records, and they're selling it for $475. Seems pretty cheap, right? I mean, per record. And the format is very nice. I don't know if you can read it from far. Title, given name, surname, street address, city, state, zip code, country, mother's maiden name, birthday, telephone number, telephone country code, pounds, kilograms, feet, inches, centimeters, national ID, color, occupation, company, vehicle, blood type, gender. I don't think there's any field left. Pant size, maybe? So there are always people like this guy. So this guy is looking for Canadians, although people from UK and USA will also do, but preferably Canadians, to work with. And he claims to have access to millions of Fulls profile and about 300,000 currently in front of him. So he already has connections or contacts in Eastern Canada, Quebec and Ontario, and especially looking for people in BC or Alberta. So if anybody's looking for a job right now, cybercrime does pay to a while. Looking for people to work with who can either make fake IDs or know someone who can make fake IDs. Photoshop skills are considered an asset. Sorry? You'll see. So, examples of what can you get once you have access to full information and somebody who knows Photoshop and can print this stuff. You can get a printer for this for like $150 and you can get 30 or 40 blank cards that come with it on eBay. It's not difficult. So you can get citizenship cards, driver licenses, permanent resident card. And this is very badly obscured ID of the guy selling it, so you can look it up now. So there are many places where, of course, IDs like these will get caught, say at border crossings, if you go to a bank and so on, places where they are validated. Then there are places where they're not validated. Like, say, if you're traveling in a foreign country, you can put it in as ID proof anywhere to get a train ticket, plane ticket, and so on. It's not going to be checked. Then, say, if you go ice skating and you want free ice skates, what better idea than to take this fake ID, present it there, let the guy keep it at the ice skating rink while you take the ice skates, and then you go home with them. You can't get cheaper ice skating shoes that way. So now that you have fake credit cards, fake IDs, how bad can life get? I mean, for other people. Being in Calgary, most of you would have seen this in the news. Hyatt Regency Calgary, one of 250 hotels hit by hackers. You would have also seen this in the news. Trump Hotels and Hilton Hotel acknowledged breach. Now, every time such a breach occurs, everybody says no credit card information was stolen. Just some user information was stolen. Now, what kind of user information gets stolen from a hotel? Now, every time you sign up for any hotel, say Best Western, Hilton, and so on, you also get a point system with it, a loyalty program kind of. So when a user information is stolen, every user ID has a loyalty account associated with it. And then you get things like this. A vendor selling 300,000 points account for $90. Just think how long it will take for you to achieve 300,000 points. Doesn't this seem easier? Of course, only a royal idiot will go and stay in the hotel for free on a stolen account with a fake ID. There have been cases apparently in Europe. But there are other things you can get from it. All hotel chains offer gift cards, so you can buy a gift card for next to nothing. You can get services, or you can resell those services to somebody else. Some hotels also have tie-ups with other hotel chains, and you can buy it from, say, hotel chain a gift card for hotel chain B. Lots of fun. Now, you have seen how well the life of cybercrime can be, how much fun you can have from this. There are things that can go wrong. Like this one. This is a screenshot from a warrant issued by Calgary Police Services, taken with their permission, about 2 people caught having credit card data, ID theft information, doing false credit card, counterfeiting mark of Government of Canada, ID documents, and so on. So remember earlier I mentioned something about a bank getting hacked in the Middle East? So there was a bank, on 25th, I came to know that I used to bank with, and my parents still have an account there, that got breached. And all the account data and everything is available online, not only on the Darknet, but everywhere. And people have already torrented it, and it's everywhere. I came to know that not only the fact that they kept my account details, which was closed in December 2010 till 2016, they still had all the fields intact. In the country, it was in Qatar, the norm is that not only will this store your details like name, address, phone number, and those kind of things that any bank stores, they will also store your passport number, expiry date, the city of birth, city of issue, and so on, all of those details, including your visa number, your ID document, blah, blah, blah. All of that is currently out. And I came to know of this on the night of 26th, that all of this data came out. And in the morning of 27th, that is yesterday morning, I got a social engineering call. I did not initially assume that it was going to be a phishing call. They claimed they were from the High Commission of India based out of Ottawa. And they kept on repeating, you can check our phone number, you can check our phone number. I know how to spoof phone numbers too, not difficult. So they go on explaining how I'm going to be deported from Canada because I did fraud on my immigration documents by misentering my date of birth 3 years ago in a form in India. And for that reason, Indian government has canceled my passport. So according to the caller, I had 2 hours until the cops will show up and deport me. Oh yes. And advance warning, I can pack my bags. They went on insisting that I don't tell anyone, so I played along. Yes, please, go ahead, tell me everything. What can I do to save myself? First option, fly home back to India, meet their contact there, and pay him the fees, and it'll take a few days. Second option, stay in Canada, pay the fees right now. So I said, okay, I'll have my credit card ready. You can just go ahead and charge me. He says, no, we insist on cash because it's faster. They wanted me to pay about $2,000 Canadian to take it out from the bank, go to Safeway in downtown Calgary, and hand it over to a Canadian border service agent who's waiting for me there. I mean, I know it's ironical that happens to a guy in security. So I played along. He explained everything. Then he says, okay, go to the bank right now. I'll stay on the call. And if you hang up or if you talk in your native language, you'll be deported. I just hung up. He called me about 10 times more after that. It was fun. But I did let the bank know just in case something happens. You never know. They have everything now. So why should enterprises care? They can identify criminals who are targeting you. So there's a life cycle that generally occurs in the exfiltration of information from private groups till it reaches the public internet. Usually a small group or an individual like this wonderful person talks about it on Darknet until it comes out as a plan and they put it as a listing. So this person talks about they need a custom basic phishing page. It has to be just one page for a company that they hacked and have access to. It'll be taking credit cards and some other things. It doesn't have to be flashy, but it should look nice. Very thoughtful. How can enterprises benefit? You can find out who's targeting you. Like this person, they need email hacked at a particular website and will pay $500 for the email. They need the username and password, will only pay after accessing. And then there's another person who claims they can provide a specialized keylogger service via Word documents for Word 2010. So it's pretty easy. Also PDF and screensaver, because we all know how much people like screensavers. They can give all three for the price, including a keylogger, and they will host it for you too. And it can be over Tor if you like that. It will cost the same. So with this, you can find out the latest tactics, techniques, and procedures, the TTPs. And through this, we learned that there's a special exploit, either they got from somebody else or they developed it, plenty of options, and they're willing to sell it. And that can lead us to things like this. A Word macro for download or execution, and as of March 21st, they claim it was fully undetected for a very cheap price of $10, which in Canadian is 13 maybe. Still cheap. So things for enterprises to keep in mind. This requires time, effort, dedication, commitment, and lots of hoops are required for jumping through legal processes. I work in TELUS, we do this there, and yes, it took a long time. The strangest incident that I had there was a lady from the privacy office asked me, have you pen tested the Darknet? Is it secure? I still haven't answered that email. I don't know what to say. Plenty of risks involved, legal, lots of PII available. Buying, selling, trading, using, even looking at PII is considered illegal. So moral of the story, there are a lot of things to talk about with regards to Darknet, financial, drugs, and others. I've only covered the financial one, as the whole topic will take hours. The final objective was to light up the Canadian Darknet for you financially and why we should not ignore it. That's it. Yeah.
We're getting back on track here. Yeah, thank you. So we're getting back on track here. We've got about 15 minutes for questions, if anybody has them. Okay. Oh.
Sorry, what is that? Yeah, a lot of people are. Even, say, Carnegie Mellon University, I think they got paid for something. Princeton's working on it, MIT's working on it, even RCMP is working on it. I don't think anybody's left.